In Hinduism, the cow is an animal that is venerated. Dharmic texts of ancient India have deep mystic symbolisms. There is a deep metaphysical meaning behind this veneration of the cow. The word for cow in Sanskrit is go, and this word has many different meanings depending on the context in which it is used. Importantly, the word go also translates to a ray of light or knowledge, to imply the essence of knowledge. Temples were storehouses of spiritual knowledge and in ancient times used as teaching centers for propagating that knowledge, and hence ornate towers were built at the entrance of the temple called gopurams. This proclaims that the place was actually an abode of knowledge. Take, for example, one of the names of Lord Vishnu, Govinda. There are many translations, but the word Vinda actually means to get, to gain, and Govinda is to gain knowledge. Lord Krishna is also called the protector of the cows, but any narrative where Lord Krishna is involved, be it the Srimad Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita, is all about the knowledge that one needs to possess to move towards liberation. The purpose of these texts was not to tell you how to rear a cow, but to encapsulate the knowledge and methods for moving towards liberation. To dig a little bit deeper, let us take this verse from the Rig Veda, a very ancient text. This verse from the Rig Veda goes, Indro dhirgaya chakshasa a suryam rohayat divi, vighobhir adrim airayat. This is a chant dedicated to Indra. Sayana, the grammarian from the Vijayanagara Empire in the year 1300s, gives context to this verse. He says that when Vritra, the demon, represented often as a serpent or a dragon, enveloped the world in darkness, Indra dispelled the darkness by the rays of light. And sure enough, the first verse translates to Indra, to make everything visible, place the sun high in the sky. Now, in the physical context, this could mean Indra breaking the clouds with his thunderbolt and causing rains, but even here, the translation just talks about placing the sun high up in the sky to clear things up. Now, Vritra is represented by a serpent, which in many other Dharmic texts is used as a symbolism for the cycle of birth and death and the general ignorance that clouds consciousness. So one interpretation could possibly be that Indra is called upon to clear that consciousness. But because this is a Vedic verse, let us even take that verse literally as Indra enveloping the world in light by dispelling the clouds and causing rain. But the second line is even more mystifying. Vighobhir adrim airayat. This is left untranslated or often mistranslated. The literal translation of Vighobhir adrim airayat means hitting or propelling the hills with cows. Smashing and hitting and propelling the hills with cows. This does not make any sense even if it is taken in the original context of the clouds and the rays of the sun. Some scholars have translated this with the right meanings of go and adri. Everything falls into place only when we consider the right meaning of these words. Adri, the mountain, also means ignorance. It is a symbol of ignorance. Go is the essence of knowledge. And the translation would be Indra, destroying ignorance with the essence of knowledge. And this fits within the context given by Sayana, where he talks about the cloud of Vritra being dispelled by the essence of knowledge. So these are other contexts in which the word go is used. Let us look at the purpose of the cow in the material world. The cow is a gentle animal. It provides nourishment in the form of milk. Of course, in the modern world, we might have alternatives, but without cow milk, in the ancient times, infants without mothers would have faced certain death. So the cow represents the nourishing mother. And for the ancients, the cow was looked at as a lifeline. So the cow was revered as a tribute to its selfless contribution to humans. There is no actual worship of the cow. The cow, by virtue of its benevolence, became a symbol of the Divine Mother. We all practice selective ahimsa, selective non-violence. Good or bad, we all have certain people and certain pets towards whom we are non-violent. So, in this cultural context, the cow was much more than a pet. It acted as a nourishing mother. So, this is the reason the benevolent cow was placed in high regard and taken care of with love. So, again, this is not a worship but a reverence. In fact, around that time, other cultures like the early Israelites actually worshipped the sacred image of a bull. Worshipped. But in Hindu Dharmic texts and places of worship, the Nandi, the bull, also had a symbolism. Even today, if you visit a Shiva temple, you will see a carving of a Nandi, the bull, facing Shiva. The Nandi is not the subject of veneration, but it is a symbol. Just as the Nandi is focused on Shiva, the self, the Atman, should also be focused on attaining union with the Supreme Absolute, the Shivam. This is how one can realize the unity of being. That is the reason why if you visit a Shiva temple, you will see a Nandi always facing Shiva. Coming back to the cow, the symbolism of the cow does not end here. There is yet another reason why the word go is used for both the cow and to describe a ray of light or knowledge. And this symbolism is that of the essence. The essence of the cow is milk. But milk cannot be stored for a long time. So milk is first boiled and then curdled. Unseen bacteria help turn the milk into curd or yogurt. But this is not where it stops. The curd is churned and agitated until it separates into butter and buttermilk, and finally, this butter is heated slowly over time, and once all the water is boiled away, it leaves behind the essence, which is ghee. So a huge amount of milk, via a myriad of transformations, becomes a tiny amount of ghee. So ghee was always considered to be the essence of milk. And here the symbolism becomes clear. The essence of a being is the Atman, the self. The essence of the cow is ghee. The essence of all knowledge is the understanding that all that exists, including the self, is a part of the Supreme Absolute, the Shivam, the Brahman. This is the reason why Go stands for knowledge. This is also why ghee is used in many yajnas as a symbol for reinforcing these universal truths. Now, ghee is called ghrita in Sanskrit. Ghee was used in many ritual offerings because it was a symbolism for the practitioner to be cognizant of the essence of all being. There was another function, another purpose for ghee. The other word for ghrita, ghee, is also to ceremonially anoint a person. So ghrita meant anointing a person. And in ancient India, this ghee was used to anoint those who realized the unity of all being. This wisdom of ancient India also reached Greece later, where kryo was the word used for anointment. So in ancient India, this ghee was used to anoint those who realized the unity of all being. Those who had the realization that they are a part of the Supreme Absolute. Those who realized that all that exists is a part of the Supreme Absolute and that the Self, the Atman, which is the essence of a being, is indeed a part of the Supreme Absolute, the Brahman, the Shivam. These were the people who had already attained or were on their way to attain the state of Sat Chit Ananda, pure consciousness bliss. This is the deep philosophical symbolism behind the veneration of the cow. As always, the known is a drop and the unknown an ocean. Peace.